Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ali from the Regency House Dental Clinic. We are frequently asked about tooth whitening, which is a lovely, pleasant, safe procedure when done by the right people in the right hands, and can give you wonderful results. So there's two types of tooth whitening. First one is home whitening. And the other one is in chair. We call it, in the UK, we call it in chair, or in America, they call it in office. The office being the dental surgery. So the difference is that the in chair is short, so it could be anything from 15 minutes up to, say, 45 minutes, I think is the maximum. It uses a high concentration of gel, and I'll explain what that gel is in a second, and it does the surface of the tooth. There's no way that in-chair whitening is going to do more than a few microns of the surface of the tooth. Okay, this is a cut, a cross-section through a human tooth, and very importantly, inside that tooth is the nerve. Okay. Another aspect of the tooth is that this is the outer layer called the enamel, and this is the core of the tooth called the dentine. So when you're doing in-chair whitening, we get some very high concentration peroxide gel, usually hydrogen peroxide, and it's layered onto the surface of the tooth like that. And then a blue light is shone at it, and then that diffuses into the surface of the tooth. And peroxide, like the peroxide that you use for your clothes or for hair, will whiten things. It will remove coloured substances from something. And that's how it works. Now, if the concentration is too high, or if there is a defect in the tooth, or if there is a little bit of recession here and it's lacking in enamel and there's too much gel here, it can race through and go to the nerve of the tooth and cause sensitivity. And this is the thing that we often worry about in terms of sensitivity caused by tooth whitening. And that's where people go, oh, is it safe? Does it hurt? And things like that. So that's why you must never, ever, ever, ever do tooth whitening unless it is being done by a qualified professional like your dentist or your qualified hygienist who knows what to look for that could potentially harm you and to warn you about it. Okay, now home whitening, which is my personal preference, is where, like going to a gym every day and trying to build a muscle up slowly, because you can never build a muscle up instantly in half an hour, you do home whitening gradually with a low concentration. And that low concentration will, let me just draw a tooth again. Sorry, there you are. That low concentration will work a little bit, and then it'll work a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little more. Diffuses into the tooth, it gets the tooth whiter from all the way from the inside. In fact, it even goes all the way to the nerve, but in a very small concentration, so it doesn't cause so much harm to the nerve. The way this is done is by giving you a more stable form of peroxide called carbamide peroxide. Sorry, I'm writing sideways. Carbamide. And this one we normally use hydrogen, just pure hydrogen peroxide on the tooth. So this is a slightly higher concentration, more active, less stable because you're only going to use it very quickly. And this is carbamide because it's in the syringe, which we'll show you shortly. And the syringe contains carbamide peroxide, which breaks down into hydrogen peroxide for your chemistry buffs out there, for all you chemistry buffs. And this breaks down into water and oxygen free radical, which is the thing that goes into here and attaches to all the coloured stuff and makes it go away. So how does home whitening work? Well, home whitening works with these plastic trays. These can be made in a laboratory or in a dental surgery. We're fortunate here in the practice we can make them ourselves. We make models of your teeth. So we take impressions with impression material and we make models of teeth. And from these we make suck down plastic trays that fit over the teeth like a glove. Often people will ask us, how do I use these? So to explain, first of all, these trays they're a little bit delicate, so you shouldn't wash them under hot water because it can distort the plastic. The second thing is that you can actually bend them out a little bit if you want to brush them and get the residual gel out of them, because you get some remnants of gel. Now, often we're asked, how much gel should I use? And what we provide normally is a tube of about this size, and the quantity is, I think, 2 ml, okay? This tube should last for up to 2 weeks. Can last for up to 2 weeks if used sparingly. Now, the amount of gel that you're going to use is about, I'll do a little drop on my finger first, that much per, if you can focus on that, about that much per tooth. So to demonstrate, in the tray itself, we put a little drop, about a teardrop amount. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And when it is applied to the teeth, it should spread on the teeth just enough to cover down to about here. We tell people not to put too much so it doesn't splodge all over your gums and around the sensitive neck area of the tooth. So again, just to demonstrate a second time, you apply a tiny bit and you put it into just the tip of the tray there. Okay? If it goes on the back of the tooth, all the better. But primarily it's for the front of the tooth. Okay? And then you apply it there, press it down, and it will spread down to around the neck of the tooth. And that's where it should stop. If it's in excess, you should remove it or wipe it away. Sometimes we cut the trays a little bit less down, close to the neck of the tooth, so that you can wipe away the excess. These trays should be worn initially. We ask people to use them for about half an hour initially, so that they can test them. So you have to be awake, you brush your teeth, you get rid of the thin film of protein that's on the tooth surface. You apply your trays and you wear them for half an hour, and you're a bit mindful of what you're doing. You test to make sure that it's not tickling your gums, it's not burning your teeth, it's not causing sensitivity. If it does, you call us or you call your dentist if it's somebody else, and you let them know immediately. If it's mild sensitivity, sometimes the tooth will accept that, and gradually it will become less and less. But you have to let your dentist or let us know. After the first day, for half an hour, we then tell people they can build it up to 45 minutes, 1 hour, until they reach a stage where they're unaware of the problem, they're unaware of having them in, and they can sleep with them as long as they haven't experienced any sensitivity. Okay, happy whitening everybody, good luck.